Step-by-step exam solutions. Okay, math class, training you to excel. Subscribe to step-by-step exam solutions. Give a thumbs up. Share with friends. Click the notification button so that you receive the next video. Okay, math class, present step-by-step exam success. Step 1, pray. Step 2, plan. Step 3, prepare. Step 4, preview. Step 5, perform. Okay, math class, step-by-step exam solution to statistics. In this new series of videos, we'll be treating statistics. So far, we have gone through video 1, histogram, and video 2, histogram. In this present presentation, we'll be looking at bar charts and pie charts. Then after that, we'll be looking at calculation of mean, median, and mode. Then calculation of standard deviation, mean deviation, etc. Like I said, in this particular video, we'll be studying bar charts and pie charts. The objective of our lesson are: number 1, prepare a frequency distribution table. Number 2, choose a reasonable uniform scale. Number 3, use the given bar and pie charts to answer questions. The question now. The diagram above shows the bar charts representing the number of vehicles manufactured by a company in January, February, and March 1992. A. How many vehicles were manufactured in February? B. How many fractions of the vehicles manufactured in February were cars? C. How many buses were produced altogether from January to March 1992? D. What is the ratio in the lowest term of lorries produced in February to that in March? Let's answer the questions together now. First question: how many vehicles were manufactured in February? Vehicles, talking about cars, lorries, and buses. For February, in the month of February here, the first bar gives us the number of cars. You can see the key here. Looking to the axis of the types of vehicles, you can see that the number of cars produced in the month of February is 40. So we drop our line and take the reading 40. Then we're going to do the same thing for the number of lorries produced in the same month of February. If you look at that, that is 25. To this point, we drop our line. The number of lorries produced in this particular month is 25. Then the number of buses produced in the same month of February will give us 30. So the number of buses produced for the month of February is 30. Then the question is asking us how many vehicles were manufactured in February. Number of vehicles manufactured in February will be equal to the sum of all these. Then we are going to add 40 plus 25 plus 30. Then adding everything, we are going to have the number of vehicles produced in the month of February is 95. Now the next question: what fractions of the vehicles manufactured in February were cars? In February, we have how many cars are produced? 40 out of the 95 vehicles. Now, what would be the fraction of the number of cars to the total number of vehicles manufactured in February? We are going to have that the number of vehicles that were cars in the month of February will give us number of cars divided by the number of vehicles produced in the same month of February. Like I said, the number of cars produced here is 40, while the number of while the number of total number of vehicles produced is 95. So we divide 40 by 95. Now, removing the common factor, that will give me 8 over 19. So therefore, the fraction will give us 8 over 19. Then we'll go to the next question. Question C. How many buses were produced altogether from January to March 1992? Buses. The pink color here gives us the number of buses for January. This is the number of buses for February. This is the number of buses for March. So now, looking at this, we clear this. Looking at this, the number of buses produced in the month of January is 20. Then we drop our line, that's 20 at this point. The same thing we're going to do here, the number of buses produced in the month of February, if you follow that to the axis for the types of vehicles, that is 30. The same thing we're going to do here, the number of vehicles produced here will give us 50. So now the question is how many buses were produced in the month from January to March 1992. So therefore, the number of buses manufactured between January and March 1992 will be 20 plus 30 plus 50. That will give us altogether 100 vehicles. 100 buses, sorry. So therefore, we'll now go to question D. What is the ratio in the lowest term of the lorries produced in February to that produced in March? So now we clear that, and then we'll go to the number of lorries produced in February to that of March. Looking at the month of February here, the number of lorries, the green bar, will give us 25. So that's dropping our line. That will give us the number of lorries for the month of February is just 25. While in the month of March, the green bar, these are the number of lorries produced in the month of March. That is 35. So now, the question says, what's the ratio of in the lowest term of lorries produced in February to that in March? So now we're going to have the ratio will give us 25 for February is to 35 for the month of March. 25 and 35, there is a common factor. So we're going to divide this by 5, divide this by 5. 25 divided by 5 is 5. So 35 divided by 5 will be 7. So therefore, the ratio of the lorries produced in the month of February to that of month of March is 5 is to 7. That brings us to the end of this particular question. We are going to go to the next slide to answer another question on pie charts. For pie charts, the pie chart shows the distribution of marks scored by 200 pupils in a test. How many people scored between 41 and 50 marks? 2. Above 80 marks. What fraction of the people scored at most 50 marks? What is the modal class? Now let's answer these questions together. So now we are going to answer the first question. The pie chart is given here. How many people scored between 40 and 50 marks? Now coming to the pie chart, you have 31 to 40. Then 41 to 50 marks is what the question is asking us to find out here. Now looking at this, the total number of people you have that took the test, the total number of them are 200. Out of these 200, we have the angle representing the pie chart for the number that scored 41 to 50 is 90 degrees. So using that, we're now going to find the total angles in a circle. We know it's 360 degrees. And the number of people who have in the class that took the test is 200. So now, this sector represents those that scored between 41 and 50. And the angle, as I said, is 90 degrees. Using that, we are going to answer A1. That will give me 200 over 360 will give us the ratio of the number of pupils to the angle in a circle. That gives us the number of people that is represented by 1 degree. So that will give us that. So therefore, if 1 degree represents 200 over 360 pupils, therefore 90 degrees will give us this fraction multiplied by 90. That will give me 260, 200 divided by 360 multiplied by 90. So therefore, simplifying that with calculator, we are going to have that the number of people that score between 41 and 50 will give us 50 pupils that score between 41 and 50. The second question is asking us to find the number of people that scored above 80 marks. Now looking at the pie chart here, you have 41 to 50, 51 to 60, 61 to 70, 71 to 80. Above 80 marks is represented by this sector, 81 to 90. So therefore the angle for that is 18 degrees. So therefore for number 2, 1 degree already we know is 200 over 360 pupils. So therefore the angle for those who scored above 80 here is 18. So therefore for 18 degrees, the number of people that scored 80 and above 80 marks will give us 200 over 360 multiplied by the angle of this sector, which is 18. So now that will give us the number of people that scored above 80. Simplifying that with calculator, we are going to have the number of people that scored above 80 marks will be 10. Then the next question, B, what fraction of the people scored at most 50 marks? At most 50 marks means they don't score more than 50 marks. Then let's start from here. 31 to 40, represented by the sector with angle 54. And then 41 to 50. 51 and above, 51 to 60 is already above 50. So we are interested in those that score up to 50. So we have the two sectors, this and this. So now we bring that to continue our question. So now we're going to see, now, these two sectors represent what we are looking for. So we're going to find those two angles. So now, what is the sum of the angles represented by these two sectors? The total angles representing the number of pupils with score 0 to 50 marks will give us 54 for the sector 31 to 40. Add it to 90 for the sector 41 to 50. That gives us the total angle for those that score between 31 to 50 as 144 degrees. Now the question says what fraction? So now we're going to get the fraction. So the fraction will give us this number divided by the total number at the center of the circle, or total degree at the center of the circle, which is 360 degrees. And then we're going to use calculator to simplify this. So dividing, we're going to have 2 over 5 to the lowest term. We give us the fraction of those that scored at most 50 marks. Then the model class, looking at this, the model class will give us the class with the largest angle. And the class with the largest angle is the class that scored 51 to 60. And therefore the model class will give us 51 to 60. That gives us the answer for D, the modal mark. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe. And please drop your comment so that I can be able to serve you better.